The off-screen indicator settings we've looked at before. You want to make sure you have it enabled if you want to be able to use it, but also the tracking ID is going to look for any other objects that are tracking with the same variable. So this one's 0. We know that player we enabled, and then we set it to 0 as well. There's a transition type. The fade is simply taking it from one, fading it out in terms of color so that you don't see it, and then fades it back into the other type, the arrow with the square. Let's go ahead and do the scaling so you can see it scaled down. Transition time is how long does it take to get down to that size. We'll do 2 so you can see it just kind of be snappy when it goes down. The target offset, I'm going to offset this just so you can see it. We're going to take this one off to the side, so it's not going to be perfectly on the object. So the targeting, this is basically saying, is it pointing to the center of the object, or is it pointing offset somewhere from the object? So this one, up and down, left and right, you can adjust this and change it how you want. So we'll take this one, make it a little bit odd. It's going to be off at the corner there. The edge border is actually the screen itself. So if you want the border if you want the object to change from the arrow to the targeted object quicker or slower, you can have the edge border where you can actually make it so the player gets to the edge and it already transitions. We'll make this one a little bit bigger so that when he gets close, it'll transition out before he goes off. On-screen size and off-screen size. So these are going to be how big is the image that's actually being portrayed across it. We'll do the off-screen size smaller. That way you can see the difference between the two. We'll just take this down to, let's see, 5 on this. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the changes for this. Alright, so we have it setting up here at the corner instead of on the player like we did before. If we're moving our player around, notice we get to the edge where what used to be, we had to get up to here before it transitioned, but it already transitions because of our border bringing it in. And then also notice the arrow is smaller than the square shape, and when it does transition, it scales. So like right now we have it set for scaling. So there you go. So again, changing it, it just may be, it's more of a preference in terms of what is the object you have, and you may find that you don't want to have, just as a, for instance, this may be the spot to hit. Maybe you're shooting an object and you need to shoot this part of the object, not this part. Then when you're going into the indicators, you'll be able to see it this way and position it into the correct spot for it.